Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm back for another video. I'm Samantha, I'm a therapist, and I'm doing a video every day for a year to get over my fear of public speaking and social anxiety. And this is video 105 of 365. Oh my gosh, 105. Whew, I haven't missed one day, and I don't plan on it at all. I love showing up for me, and I hope I'm helping you to learn to show up for you every day as well, and to stay consistent and never waver from the vision you have for yourself. So that's what I'm practicing. And I hope that I can be kind of a helper in your journey in being consistent in your life too. And I thought we'd talk about shifting again. Shifting when you feel like, shit, what do you do? What do you do? Well, what I used to do when I felt bad was I would ruminate on things and spiral and feel like crap. And this is before I knew about all of this amazing law of attraction, law of assumption, all of the brain stuff I know about. I just ruminate and spiral, and that never felt good. And I'm driving myself crazy, basically. And it became, you get obsessed with things and it becomes an addiction. And then you train your body and your brain to stay in that state. And that's basically what happens when we spiral. So when I started learning about this stuff, I started realizing that, oh my gosh, this is an addiction. This is all this is. This is all I've got to do is break the habit of being myself, as Joe Dispenza says. We just have to break the habit of being ourselves so we can become the new self. And all that requires is a new habit of thought, which turns into a new belief system. And then basically your identity changes and you start acting and thinking and being that new person. And you don't identify anymore with those other thoughts. I know that this works because, I've been diagnosed with PTSD, chronic PTSD, and of course, generalized anxiety disorder in the past. And had a lot of, trauma in my life and just like anybody else. And I haven't had to take any medication. I haven't had to do anything other than change my thoughts. That's really what I did. No amount of anything that I've done over the years has helped more than just deciding that I wanted to be different. I promise you. I just decided. Have I had a lot of therapy? Yes. Have I done a lot of yoga? Yes. I'm trained to teach yoga, so I may be doing that on another channel. Have I done a lot of journaling? Yes. Have I done a lot of meditating? Yes, every day. That stuff is great, and it teaches our nervous system to kind of calm down. It works just like anything else does. But all of those things probably helped me get to a place where I was ready to decide. And all of those things that we do, those techniques and different things, they just kind of help us kind of get our minds on track to maybe open up to a different possibility that we couldn't see before without that particular thing. So when I decided, that's really what shifted me, was like, I'm deciding to be this new person. I'm deciding to not identify with the thoughts that feel abusive to me, the self-deprecating thoughts, the thoughts that just beating yourself up type of thoughts. And I started examining what I was thinking, what I was saying to myself every day, what I thought about myself, what I was telling myself about myself, what I was thinking about other people in my mind, what I was thinking about just about my life in general, and just things that would pop up and bother me, or anything that popped up where there was just a negative connotation to it. I would observe it and be like, oh, I wonder where that came from. And I just started examining myself. And I think there's nothing better than getting to know yourself. That's what I love about being a therapist, is that I love to help people flip their light on again, maybe for the first time ever. But I love to get them to light up when they learn about themselves. That's what I love to teach, is like, how do you learn about yourself to the point where you can create this transformation inside, where I empower you to do that on your own. And through my guidance, it just kind of helps get you there. Maybe through the back door, maybe through the side door, maybe through the front door. You're going to get there some way with me. And so, yeah, I think that there's nothing more empowering than just deciding that you're going to transform yourself and that you have the power to do that at any moment. It just takes some awareness of, what am I doing with myself today? How am I being? Because you're going to see in the mirror outside of you, reflected back, what you've been thinking, what you've been feeling, what you've been expecting, all of that. It's just right there for you. It's your evidence showing you. And if you don't believe it, just start experimenting. Look around after you stay in a mental state for a while. Measure. Say, well, I started feeling better today, and I had all these great things happen. Then I started feeling worse, and then I started just spiraling, and then, this one bad thing happened. Or you can define it as good or bad, whatever you want to do, because you're assigning meaning to everything that pops up in your world anyway. You're giving it a meaning. And also, when I found that out, I was like, okay, whatever pops up that feels, quote, bad, I'm going to give it a different meaning and see what happens. And I just started doing that over and over. When I would think that this means this, when it really didn't at all mean that, it meant something else, or I just turned it all around in general to think something different about it, to see it from a different lens. I decided to put on different glasses to see through, and it just changed everything. Your perception just changes when you just reframe something. You maybe say it's the opposite of what it actually is. When you see something you don't like, immediately affirm in your mind and claim, no, it is this way now. Describe it how you wish it would be in front of you immediately. Go in your imagination. I look at the imagination as a lab or a workshop, and you're going in there and you're going to just do a little bit of woodworking and you're going to create some great products or items. You're just creating these things in your head that will project out. And to me, that is more fun than spiraling when you just think about it. This is what we did as kids. We pretended that things were a different way, probably to change our mental states. I would imagine that's what children just know to do. They're like, I'm going to change my state. They don't know they're doing that, but they know kind of how to make themselves feel better. They ignore their parents. They ignore you. They're ignoring you. You tell them to come to dinner. They don't hear you. They're totally ignoring you. They're playing their video game on purpose. As adults, we can't really do that. That would be deemed as rude. But as kids, they do what they need to do to feel better. And I think we just lose that along the way, of course. We don't learn how to master our emotions. And there is something very, very valuable in mastering our emotions and just becoming so aware and observant of what we're thinking and feeling throughout the day that when you become the observer of everything, it's a lot easier to kind of zoom out instead of being zoomed right in. Because sometimes it feels hopeless or you feel helpless when you're zoomed in. It's kind of like zoom out a little bit and see what else is there. See what else could be there. But you can give a definition to everything, a meaning to everything. Watch your definitions of things. If somebody shows up late, that doesn't mean that they don't care about you. You might be thinking in your mind, oh, because this happened when I was a kid, and then this is linked to this, and it's all linked, yes. But you got to examine those links, because if you're perceiving from those links that started a long time ago, your perception might not be that reliable for you anymore. It might not be serving you anymore. It might have never served you, but it was just programmed in. So now is a really good time to decide, okay, I'm going to break the habit of being myself so I can become the 2.0 me instead of the 1.0 me. What does a 2.0 me want to feel like? And what does the 1.0 me feel like right now that needs to change? What's the gap in there? What are the things I need to stop doing that might be making me being held back from my 2.0 me? What might be happening there? And you just think about that. And the more you practice this, the better you're going to get at it, I promise. And with that, I will let you go. There's about to be a loud car that's about to start. So I will be back tomorrow. I love you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.